tonight we're doing Tar. Finally, we got to Tar. I was saying to do it in October or September or whatever, but we had stuff going on, and it wasn't playing in theaters near us. So now we finally get to it, because it's on Peacock, on streaming.
Right,
on
streaming.
Peacock.
Everybody can get it.
Yeah, I think it's free. I don't know if it's the premium Peacock or free Peacock. We have Peacock, but it's on there, so you can go and find it pretty easily.
Right.
Did you know about this one going in? It's, we're in Oscar season. It's been nominated for Best Picture, Director, Actress for Cate Blanchett.
That's most of what I know about it. I know because we were talking about reviewing it when it first came out, but like you said, it didn't make our schedule. But so as soon as something comes up in our little group talk, I kind of try to, go and see what it's about. So I got the gist of what the movie. I've never heard it's based on a true person. I've never heard about this person before. So I didn't know a whole lot. I know that it's Oscar bait and it's now Oscar nominated.
This isn't based on a real person.
It's based on a real person, isn't it?
It is not based on a real person at all. Lydia Tarr's fictional character.
Oh my god! I thought I saw that it was based on a real person.
No, it's such a good character that you would think it's a real person, but no, it's not. This is not a real person. Lydia Tarr is not a person.
Now you've made me think that I need to go and look for a person that's very much like Tar. It's got to be out there. Okay.
Renowned musician Lydia Tarr is days away from recording the symphony that will elevate her career when all elements seem to conspire against her. Says a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 73 audience, 7.5 IMDb, 92 Metacritic. That's very high on Metacritic. And yeah, Cate Blanchett, I believe it's her and Everything Everywhere All at Once. What's her name?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh, yeah. It's good. Yeah. It's Cate Blanchett, Michelle Yeoh race. I don't think this will win picture or director, but it's an acclaimed film. It's a behemoth. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, you gotta schedule some time out. And Todd Field, the director, I think he's only ever made In the Bedroom and Little Children. So this is only his third movie in a 25-year career. I mean, they're all, well-received movies, but it's pretty
Have you seen either of them?
Yeah, I've seen it In the Bedroom. I didn't take much away from it. And then I have Little Children, but I haven't seen it yet because I just haven't gotten to it.
I saw it In the Bedroom when it premiered up here in Maine because it was a Maine-based film, and at the Maine International Film Festival, they had screening. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tar on Peacock if you have any interest, because we are going to spoil it here now. So Lydia Tarr is the first female chief conductor of the Berlin Philharmonic, and she has a crew of people around her as we go through her life, preparing for this big symphony. She's got her wife, who is also she's one of the chairs in cello or violin. She's in the band. She's got an assistant.
The first chair violin. It's very different than being a chair anywhere else. Yeah.
She's a chair. She's a chair in the violin, and she's in the thing. You know what I mean? She's got a assistant, Francesca. And then there is she meets with a predecessor of his at dinners. She's got an assistant conductor that has some stuff going on there. Some other scholars. Mark Strong with hair, and this whole thing.
Yeah. Mark Strong with hair.
Very unsettling. And there is also a young Russian cellist, Olga, who comes into the picture at some point. And there's also a former student of hers that we don't ever see. We don't ever see her in person. But what was her name?
Krista.
Krista, there you go. There's a lot of women floating around in here, and you just look at Tar. You look. It's a character study. You look at Tar. You look at her life. Look at what she's accomplishing, how she deals with her people, and you find out some things about her, some maybe not so positive things, and then you're gonna watch Tar. So, Mama K,
Tar.
What you think of Tar? Tar on Tar. It's her book.
Yeah, I guess it is a surprise. I mean, I thought it was based on someone, so yeah, surprise. It is a long movie. Stylistically, it's kind of interesting. They just chose to put the credits running at the front of the film, which led me on a chase of watching even more credits because I kept trying to fast forward through it and fast forwarding too far through the movie and then back too far.
Oh,
Everyone's done this. Everyone knows what this is.
You tempted it's tempting you to fast forward. You're supposed to restrain
terrible.
yourself. I watched it. I watched the whole 4.5 minutes.
Well, I did too, and I probably watched a couple, like, 30-second parts many times. So
that serves you right for trying to cheat the movie.
I know, but I was honestly already tired when I started, so that I was like, oh no, this is not boding well. So anyway, so that happens in the movie, is that it starts at the end. So I mean, I generally like character studies. This is a strong. Cate Blanchett definitely should have been nominated for the Academy Award for this, and it's also, and putting her up against Michelle Yeoh is it's going to be very telling, because both are really super strong lead female characters. Yeah, but this movie was really slow, and in the beginning I had a really hard time. The actresses that play all these other three main characters do not look similar at all, but how they like weave themselves into her life is very similar, so I had a really hard time keeping who was who straight.
That sounds like a Jess complaint. Jess always mixes up plain white people.
Okay, well, I was channeling Jess in this case. So there's a good story in there, but I'm not sure why it took 2 hours and 40 minutes to tell it. I'm going to stop there.
I gotta find where is this Letterboxd review. This is by user Mar, M-A-R. I don't know who that is, but it made me laugh very hard because it sums up what I thought of this the whole time. The Joker for lesbians. The Joker for lesbians. You didn't see the movie? You didn't see Joker, did you?
I did not see Joker. Or did I just see it in the form of
Tar? The end of this movie is the end of Joker. Kinda.
Really? Okay.
Not exactly, but yeah, you killed the joke because you didn't see. If someone else was on here that saw Joker, it would be funnier. This is a good movie. I like this. It takes a bit of a lull, I would say, after she does the scene with the kid who's like, I don't listen to Buck because he's a racist old white man. And then I'm like, that's a scene a lot of people are pointing to. I'm like, that's a pretty good scene. And then from there until maybe when we start to kick it up some more with Suicide Girl, writing the emails, that's when I kind of click back in, which is, I don't know, maybe the hour 10 mark. And then from there to the end, I'm pretty on the edge of my seat and hooked, because that's kind of when the actual story kicks in. Like, it starts to get dramatic.
I agree.
It has a little bit of an Amsterdam effect, where like, oh my god, we're taking a long time to get to the point, and then when we get to the point, I'm like, oh, I like that. That's good. Although Amsterdam was on your bottom 5 of the year, so that's not a bode well.
No, so I would probably, although maybe that's true, I would probably watch this again before I'd watch Amsterdam again. So.
Oh yeah, this is much better than Amsterdam, of course.
Yeah.
A nice 40-minute lull in there, and it's in the first act, which is a pretty big barrier to entry, especially too if you got the 5-minute credit sequence at the beginning. Like, it's a movie. Yeah. It's a movie asking for the common movie watcher to turn it off. Like, it does not. The structure is not. It doesn't play by fair screenwriting rules. It's very not out of order, but it just drops you in. Doesn't give you a lot of context. Scenes just kind of happen from scene to scene. It doesn't have a narrative thrust.
Segues.
No, the narrative thrust doesn't come until way, way later. And even when you know what's like the driving thing is, that's still not really what's driving the action. There's not really anything driving action. You're just kind of watching Tar. And like, this is Tar going to get her mail, and like, this is Tar at her class, and then she's like, oh, she's having fun like at her class, and then she has this brutal scene with someone in an office, and she's horrible, and then we see her, oh, she's at coffee and dinner, and it's nice, and then we see her reading the emails of the woman that she might have had some sexual improprieties with. So it's scene after scene, pretty juxtaposed. Like, they're not like you said, there's not like a smooth transition of just relentless Tar.
It's Tar on Tar.
Do you like Tar the character? What do you think of Tar the character? And then the performance separately.
Oh, I don't like Tar the character at all.
Oh, you don't like her? I like her.
no, I don't like her at all. She's so far up her own butt. It's ridiculous. They give her every little bit that makes her feel like the leading man in the movie that you don't like. And that's who she was in this movie. She just happened to be a female. And it's not even about that at all. It's not about whether it's a man or woman. She's awful. She doesn't treat people well. People are, disposable in her world, and she just goes from one pretty girl to the next. So yeah,
When did you realize? Did you think that she was that kind of person from the beginning, or is that a reveal?
I thought she was the hint the first hint I got is when we were first introduced to her wife. So that was pretty early on, I think.
Yeah, that's very early. I would say first half hour.
Yeah, and that their first scene together, I could tell that she didn't really love her, and that she didn't, she was. It was whenever she saw her, the first time she saw her, it was like, oh, I'm so happy to see you or whatever. I'm glad I'm back, but it never really hit for me. And then when her wife was like, I can't find something I need, I can't find my keys. I need help, and it's obvious that Tara's been taking her medication and she's getting caught doing it it's just, she's just not a good person. She's way too, like I said, she's way too egocentric and in the worst way. I've
heard a lot of people say Tar, or the character, is very masculine. Like is not a feminine woman at all. No,
the first thing we see her doing is getting a suit cut. She's getting,
Oh yeah, I forgot. I love that. I love that intro.
It's a great scene, but that's the first thing we see her doing. She's putting on her costume. That's all filmmaking
stuff, though. That's the stuff that kills it, or not kills it in a bad way. Like is so good in here is the filmmaking, because it's so it feels very like distant and sterile, almost kind of Yorgos Lanthimos almost, but like not as quirky.
It was too long for me to like catch all the nuances of everything, because I kept getting bored, and then something would happen and I'd be interested, and then I'd be bored again.
You were not engaged in here.
No, I couldn't stay that until the end. I mean, that last bit when things really started unraveling. I think when she flies across the stage and takes out a conductor.
Yeah, that's the part where she becomes the Joker. Like the last 45, the last 45 minutes is like, it takes such a hard turn. Because you don't know really what anything's building to. Like in the first hour and a half, I don't really know what the story is. Yeah, like is her big performance the big epic thing at the end? Because it doesn't even feel like that before we get the accusations.
Yeah, I didn't know either, because we weren't getting hardly any information except for what she does for a living and where she's at in her life with that. And, she's at the end of this gigantic thing that she started long, long time ago with Mahler's Fifth. And so I think that I was led to think something was going on with that, or maybe the thing that does happen throughout the movie, that's the only thing that's any sort of clue that there's something weird going on, is I think she hallucinates, because I don't think it's really happening, but she hallucinates these like door ding dongs or phone message tings, or just
she
little
hears screaming
things.
Sometimes randomly.
Hears screaming, yeah. So there's definitely, I mean, is that her inner psyche? Is that her ego, talking to us through the whole movie? I don't know. It's never really explained what that is, but that's a piece that tells you that something's going to be happening, and it doesn't really feel like it's going to be with the actual performance of Mahler's Fifth.
It makes me think that she knows what she's doing is wrong, because like she knows that because I think it's the end of the end of the whole movie too. I think the last 40 minutes of this is very strong, which actually helps recontextualize what you've been watching, because there's a scene in the last 10 minutes where she goes to a massage parlor, and
oh my gosh,
there's the girl in there, number was 5? Number 5, and then she
Mahler's number 5.
Bolts out of the room and is vomiting in the street, and like it's so perfectly picking the oh god, it requires so much setup. So Krista, this girl, we'll go all the way back to the midpoint of the movie. Krista, the girl who's been emailing her, kills herself. And that's like the inciting incident for the actual plot to get going, because then the parents come in and they're like, oh, there's accusations that you abused her and like took, and then like you forced, like this is on you. You're and you groomed her and all this
like,
stuff.
Yeah, grooming and sex for performance, or to get ahead in the world, that kind of thing.
Right. All that, yeah, it's something like that. I don't think they say explicitly what literally, but yeah, it's that. And right. So she gets taken off the thing, and so she has just a super fast downward spiral. Like it's like 1 minute
immediate.
It's immediate. Like she's dumped off the thing. She's like a babbling crazy person at home alone with that neighbor, with the dying neighbor, and right. God. And she just loses, at one point she just loses her shit. She's like chanting in her apartment by herself. I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting the end of Blue Jasmine, Kate Blanchett, where she's just fucking mumbling to herself. I love that shit. That's my favorite. And then
it was a long scene then. You must have liked that.
It was. I loved it. I really did. I was so on board in that scene. I was so on board the last 40 minutes or so. I was so in. It like really. I was at the hour 40-minute mark. I'm like, it's gonna have to really pull it off at the end for me to like this is like good, like this is like well crafted, but it's just I'm not getting anything out of it. And then the end pulls out at least a whole nother star for me. It's got, and the whole point I was getting to there. The girl, she's in Thailand now. She's like annexed to Thailand, and she's like, oh, where can I get a massage? And I think the woman sends her there specifically because she knows it's her, that because she's like famous right now for being in a sex scandal, and that's
really?
She's like,
interesting.
That's what I didn't think she would. I wouldn't think you would just send anyone to that massage place. Like I know it's Thailand, but it's not. I wouldn't.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I was wondering. If I could believe either direction, honestly, because I don't know very much about Thailand. So,
well, then
but
she
it was
gets
a nice
there
place too. It's not like it was a dive. It wasn't a dump. It was there's been massage places that I've gone to that look just like that, but not
with the girls in the behind the plexiglass.
not the girls in the glass ball or whatever. No, but I'm talking about how nice it was when they were walking down the hallway and the sound. I was thinking as I'm watching it, honestly, I'm thinking, I'm so mad that I had to, cancel my last massage that I really need to put one back in the books. So. Anyway, sorry.
Okay. The glass, but the room behind the room in the back with the women in behind the glass, and then the one that is number 5 looks up. Oh, number 5. Like in my head, that whole thing is just like playing out. Like she in her head realizing no longer am I this thing that I was working towards to be the composer. Now I'm just looked at as the woman, the predator woman, and that's what people think of me now. And that's her. Yeah, that's her realization and vomiting thing. And that's. When we go like earlier in the thing, that's why I'm like, I think she knows it's like she has a reckoning coming.
Yeah, I don't know if she does or not, because I mean, that's what makes me not like this character, because she gets the things that she's doing are reprehensible. So why would I don't tend to like people who think that they can get away with whatever they can get away with because they have power and money. So that's the kind of character she is, and that's why I don't like her. She does have a fast spiral downward because of that, because it's an instantaneous realization that she is no longer welcome in the circles that she so believes in and thinks are important.
You don't think? I thought my whole point in that thing was that I thought she had a remorse for what she did in that whole thing.
Yeah, but I'm not buying that's a real, like, a permanent remorse. I think it's more of a remorse for herself. It's not really a remorse for herself. It's more of a realization that her life has gone to shit than what she's done to everybody else. I don't think so.
I don't think she gives a shit about Krista necessarily. It's the point. It's that she now sees how other people will see her legacy. It's the sinking in that her legacy is gone.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because there's not, you're right. She is different with people. Usually in a larger crowd where she's trying to impress or fulfill, a fantasy of what people think she is. So,
and that's part of like the scenes. Like scene to scene, she's different in every scene. Like she shapes herself in the room that she's in.
Yeah. it's really interesting because she only does it through personality and affectation. She's always dressed exactly the same, so that's not. A lot of times, wardrobe can convey, certain things, but that's not. That's all Kate Blanchett. That's not, you know, anything else. So that's the
She
acting.
kind of reminds me of what's the blood lady, Silicon Valley blood lady, Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
Little Elizabeth Holmes' voice isn't deep enough.
I don't know. I understand why this movie is getting.
Yeah, it sounds like you didn't enjoy this.
I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to because it was too long, and the reason it was too long is because it was really self-important, and you know how much I don't really love that. And when all of these really great scores come up, I think that's probably because the people that are seeing the movie already know what they're going to be seeing, and this is what they came to see. They're not disappointed, so they're a little bit full of themselves, maybe a little bit up their own butts, maybe, and are wanting to watch what your dad would quote as a bougie movie and not a regular movie that everybody else would want to watch. I.e., he did not watch this with me.
I'm shocked this has a 73 audience score. That is surprising to me that it's that high. I would not think this is not accessible to the average person's not going to be on the edge. This isn't Whiplash.
No.
Like if we're comparing another prestige music pick.
What did you think of the music in this film?
Like the music is actually not what I think about, honestly, because it's just like
even though it's about music. I think that's interesting.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't think of the song Whiplash, and I love Whiplash. Like, I don't remember how that goes. It's got some crazy drum beat. I can't follow this kind of music. What I did, I had some time, so I was catching up with Oscar picks. So I watched this and the other 2.5-hour Best Oscar Pictures nominees, All Quiet on the Western Front and Triangle of Sadness. And those both have awesome kick-ass soundtracks. And so I watched this between those two. All three very good movies. But because I watched those two with such awesome scores, this one is not floating to my mind. I feel like though a lot of this
quiet compared to the others.
Well, that's the thing. It is quiet. Like the music, like she plays the music, but like in scenes where that's not happening, there's no score. Like there's like at least I'm not thinking of any like in between scene times.
No, I think a little bit about her. I mean, because she is writing a score throughout the movie, or she's supposed to be writing one. So that's really the only thing, because the rest of it's already overproduced classical music that people either know or don't know. I'm not familiar with Mahler, so I don't know that music, but. Yeah, I have a question. I'm a little bit. I think I know the answer, but I just kind of want to throw that out there. One piece of the film in the very beginning, well, actually, it might be the first scene, is somebody is live streaming her or sending live video to a friend. I think is what it is.
Yeah, well, there's like a text screen on the screen, and it's the first shot of the movie. It's before the credits. Yeah,
and they're talking really bad about her. It seemed like. When I saw it, it was like, oh, this is mean girl talk. I think they're on an airplane or something, or on a train maybe. And they're talking really bad about her. And then it happens again briefly toward the end. And
yeah, I think it was looping.
I think it's Olga, the cellist, right? The one that she's trying to now be her newest protege.
Is that what we're led to believe? I didn't pick if that's what they're. No, I didn't get the impression that was her. Was there something that would lead us to believe that was Olga?
Well, who else would it be? I mean, it's somebody.
I thought it was
it's not somebody just. I mean, we only have like 6 characters in this movie.
Yeah, but then if it were important who it was, I thought that was just like this is the public representation of she's falling from grace. Like random people in audiences at her things are saying, "Oh, what a mess."
Maybe, but that was like that in the beginning. So was the beginning like a foreshadowing?
No, the beginning. Moment? I thought that shot in the beginning before the credits was during that time, and now 2 hours in, we are looping back to that point.
Oh, okay. Then that 100% makes sense.
I thought
it was just Olga. No, Olga knowing that. I mean, it's got to be around in that world that she's a groomer. So even though we're just, we as the audience are just finding out about it. But I thought maybe this was all Olga, and Olga's, going along with it because she knows that she's going to get something out of it.
No, and that might have been interesting, but this movie's not called Tar and Olga. It's just Tar, so we don't.
I know.
Olga is only Olga being anything but a pawn would take away from the spotlight that needs to be on Tar.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I was just thinking there, like, oh, that'd be kind of an interesting narrative choice. Then I'm actually thinking larger, like, no, that would steal the spotlight away from the point of the movie is Tar on Tar. Like the point is,
and nobody wants the spotlight away from the people, the important.
Yeah,
people.
No man is an island. Ego unchecked. Like even the most brilliant geniuses become monsters. Ultimate power corrupts ultimately. All that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I was happy to see Adam Gopnik in the beginning. Do you know him?
Is he the guy who's playing himself?
He's the interviewer, at the very beginning of the movie.
I don't know his works.
Oh. I ran into him a long time ago. Not long. I was probably at least 15 years ago when he wrote a book, Paris to the Moon, about moving with his family to Paris. And then now I think he's a writer for one of the big New York papers. I can't think of which one.
Interesting gentleman.
That was interesting. It was an interesting choice.
He was trying to spar with her. I thut he was trying to like get under her skin a little bit.
I think so. I mean, I think that she was giving her own, lecture on the importance of how much she knows about life. And he was trying to kind of get in there a little bit, like, not everybody knows everything, but you seem to think that you do. So, okay.
What do you think of her ending up like all great washed up people? She ends up on the cosplay circuit at the end.
I was so confused for a minute, honestly, because there are a lot of time. I was a lot of confused about a couple of things there, but there are a lot of things that happen that kind of shift time in this movie. So I'm not really sure where we're at, if it's a flashback or whatever. And so I was like, as I'm watching that, I'm like, is this a flashback to her first gig? And now she's worked her way up to what she is. And then they showed the audience all dressed in cosplay things. And I was like, yeah, no, this is the end. This is where we've ended up. Like, oh man.
She's conducting the score of a video game called Monster Hunter, a real life video game series. So I can imagine if you're a Monster Hunter fan and you're watching this, and then that comes up at the end as she's playing it, that's got to be like a nice, that's got to be a nice little punch for you.
That fandom's probably been waiting for a long time for this movie.
When you're in a very specific fandom and they get shouted out, it's pretty good feeling. Like when it's a very niche fandom. It's
yeah. I like it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else for Tar. Any other things I wanted to pull out
hit
here?
On.
Yeah, this is the way she treats the people and say. So yeah, so you don't like Tar. You don't think Tar's a good role model, something to aspire to.
Tar is not a good role model. Oh my
what
God.
if Tar were exactly the same but didn't groom women, but she did everything else the same? Would she still be awful?
Less reprehensible, but still not somebody I would want to call, tight in my circle of friend group, because just too much into herself. She's, the people in her life all wait on her, and she does not give two shits about what they're about. So those kind of people. I don't have time for those kind of people. It's better that she's not a criminal. How about that?
Yeah. Well, are you recommending Tar?
Yeah, no, probably not, just because it's too long and slow. The story is not bad. The acting is great. The music's ultimately forgettable. So, yeah, I'm going to give this
the music's
pass.
Forgettable because it's not, there's very little.
It's about music.
Well, it's not really about music. It's about a person,
You're right.
It's like Jerry Maguire, not a sports movie, but, it's kind of a sports movie.
Kind of a sports movie.
I recommend this. This is a solid 4 to 5 star movie, but only because that ending is so good at hitting back points. Like the ending really the downward spiral is so fast and so vicious, and and I love letting scenes just happen and like not having to tie like I love when things come back randomly and like, but things don't need to always be like talks to death. Like she goes and sees her brother at the end. We didn't nothing about that, and then we find out her name's Linda, not Lydia.
Linda.
And like the last 20, like what? And then we're just up, and now we're in the Philippines. Like, but like we find out she's in the Philippines because she goes from that scene to walking in a train station, and then we hear someone speaking not English on a speaker.
Tagalog,
like that's those kind of filmmaking choices that make the whole thing work. As when people are like, "Oh, this is a masterpiece," that's why I understand people who would call this a masterpiece.
Yeah, but that all happened on 1/3 of the film, and the other 2/3 was either, I don't know, they had a lot of money to spend, or it was just so hyper self-indulgent.
No, I think there was a lot of that.
Tell the story.
I think there was a lot of that you don't pick up on when you're watching it because we are trained to look for a narrative. So like, I'm not paying attention to. I'm not watching those quiet scenes in the first third because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. It's not, And
you
then
could still tell this story with a lot less time.
You could, yes, you could, but I think the people who want to spend time here want to spend a lot of time here.
Yeah. Well,
it was what, 2 hours 40. If this were 2:10, I'd be good. It doesn't need that much of a haircut for me. That one section I don't need to understand.
Half an hour is a lot. Got it.
Half hour is a lot, but I mean it's it's 20%. But like it's because they don't need to build her up as much as they need to. Like I would leave everything alone from the hour 15 mark to the end. I would just change that hour 15 beginning to 45 minutes, maybe 50. Still, very good movie. Not my pick for end of the year or best of the year, but deserving. I'm not gonna wag anyone's finger who says this is the best movie of the year. That's like I could see that as an argument. So one recommend and one not recommend for Tar, and that is on there. You have any interest in All Quiet on the Western Front or Triangle of Sadness? Because I did just watch those, and I'd like to talk about those.
All Quiet on the Western Front, maybe.
Triangle of Sadness.
I've never heard of Triangle of Sadness, so I don't know what that is.
Triangle of Sadness is the third in the Menu Glass Onion trilogy.
In the what trilogy?
In the Menu Glass Onion trilogy.
What? I didn't know there was a such trilogy.
Come on, pick up what I'm putting down here. What am I saying? What am I saying right now by saying that?
I have no idea.
It's another movie about pretentious rich people. It's 3 pretentious rich people movies that came out in 2022. It's a trilogy. Why are you not picking this up here? 3 well-received, critically well-reviewed movies about rich people.
Yeah, well, the movie we just watched was about rich people, too, so...
Yeah, but the point of this movie was not about rich people. The point of Triangle of Sadness, like the other 2 movies, is about rich people bad. Or, capitalism bad, whatever, all that stuff.
I don't know. People are bad.
Triangle of Sadness. I think that'd be good to talk about. All right, if you have things to recommend to us, Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost. And you can email the show filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. And what else? Anything else? I think that's it. Thanks for being on for...
good.
Yeah, thanks for being on for Tar, Mama K.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.
Until next time, this is Brennan signing off saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening and enjoy your movies.